Hey yo, what is going on everybody? DragonBallPaul here, back at it again with some more Dragon Ball Super news, information, and updates. We got Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 89 officially releasing today, so we're about to dive into it and break everything down. Most of these spoilers we already confirmed on the channel prior, so like I said, make sure you guys go check out those videos. So I'm gonna tell you guys up front that I actually really like this chapter, and I'll let you guys know why later. But as you guys know, these are the events that happen after the Granola arc, but before the superhero movie arc, all before the ending of Dragon Ball Z in the final arc leading up to where Goku meets Uba in the tournament. So in chapter 89, what we see is Trunks is trying to find out the context on this disc, and what he realizes is after putting it into the computer, you see the blueprint for Cell Max, and then all of a sudden Dr. Hedo viruses appear all over the screen, thus breaking the laptop. And then Bulma calls that out. After calling that out, Bra actually goes over there and fixes it, showing that Trunks is just like his pops. He's not good with technology, and Bra is actually the tech genius, just like Bulma was since the very beginning of Dragon Ball. So what we see in this chapter also is that Mai is also being enrolled into school, just because it would have been weird for her to not attend school at her age. So she enrolled Mai at Trunks' high school, which is kind of weird because now Trunks and the old lady, she's like 40 something, are going to school together. It's like kind of high school romance. What they're trying to do here is create Gohan and the Great Saiyanman and Videl from back in the day, and it's kind of like a reverse of this one, but with Goten at it. And I think they match that vibe pretty well. I actually like the vibe of this specific chapter. As weird as wonky some of these concepts are, it still works. So they go to school, they introduce the new transfer student being Mai, and then everybody's like, wow, she's so cool and mature and all of this stuff, and Trunks has to catch her up to speed and all of this nice stuff. As we go along, there's even one guy that asks if she has a boyfriend, and then Trunks gets jealous because he's still crushing on her ever since way back when. So we get another transfer student on the same exact day, and his name is Beyta. And what we also see is the class is also jumping around about this guy. But what's very cool is that we transition from the classroom to the courtyard next, and what we see for the first time, I believe, in Dragon Ball is them playing basketball. And me being a basketball fan, I absolutely love this. So you see Trunks is on the court and he's absolutely tearing it apart, and it's kind of giving me Kuroko no Basket vibes. I love that anime. But then you see as he's like destroying everybody in the court, he's doing that Jordan Poole thing. All these chicks are looking at him and he's like, yeah, I got this ultimate swag. Beyta comes out of nowhere and decides to lay it up, and even though this guy is moving super fast and he's down the court, Trunks catches up and tries to block him at the rim. He tries to do a game 6 LeBron at the rim on your boy Beyta, and what happens is he actually goes down and under and scoops it right into the basket, and even Trunks is like, what? And this guy, as Trunks' rival in high school, gives him that pose that, like, you know he's your rival, but you also want to punch the shit out of him. So he straight up tells him, you jerk, and then they're going back to the game. And as you can see, the entire time during this entire playthrough here at the basketball game, you see his eyes, they get zoomed into, and what you realize is that he's actually recording everything on a screen to Dr. Hedo's headquarters. So Beyta is an android designed by Dr. Hedo to go and spy and find this disc. And what he's seeing here is that he's recording Trunks saying that this guy is very sus. He seems to be giving off superhuman abilities, and we gotta poke him for a little bit more. Hey yo, just as a quick reminder, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon. A lot of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. This way you guys stay up to date with anything we do on the channel and stay part of the community. Also guys, we stream live just about every day on Twitch and on YouTube, DragonBallPaul YT. My channel's DragonBallPaul, DragonBallPaul Gaming, and my PS Fitness channel. If you really want to go the extra mile, I have Patreon and YouTube memberships. Make sure you guys go check those out. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Enjoy the rest of the video. So while Beyta has a mission to go and hunt down Trunks, Trunks has another mission trying to win Mai's heart. He's over here trying to figure out if she caught the hots from during the match and stuff like that, because he lost during the basketball game. But what she realizes is that in class, she's like, something's off about this guy. And what she points out is that the dude has a stitch going straight down the back of his neck. And now Trunks starts putting 2 and 2 together that, hey, this is one of those mummy guys from the factory. So he can't let them find out that he's saying X1 because they're tailing him. And Hedo knows that he's being suspicious. So what he has him do, Beyta, in the hallway is throw a football at him to try to reveal his powers. And what you see is Trunks dodges it because he sees it coming, and he tries his shoe and it bounces around and then ends up smashing a fire extinguisher, which ends up flooding all over Beyta, and all the students are like, yo, poor Beyta. It's a very comical episode. I actually really love this stuff. It's a slice of life episode. I think that's will be done well if they make it very comically, but I think they will. It's old school Dragon Ball fashion, and this one gives me a vibe of the old school plus the new, and I think they do it in a very interesting way, because you'll see at the very end of the chapter that because of all their actions here, it amounts to something a lot more, but hopefully we go further into it. But at lunchtime, asks for more soup, and all of a sudden, while he's asking for more soup, and the lady tells him you can't get any extra one because everyone gets the same, your boy Beyta tries to dump soup on him from behind, and Trunks ends up doing one of the most badass things, which I think is a callback to the World Martial Arts Tournament when Goten launched that Kamehameha. He's like, yo, did you learn to control it? He dodges the soup over the side of his neck, and it ends up in his bowl, which just makes him look like a complete badass. So he makes Beyta look like a Beyta, and then they end up in math class, and all of a sudden they have to solve equations. And what happens here is that Trunks also shows once again that he's pretty dumb compared to Beyta, who solved all of the questions perfect, while Trunks couldn't get a single one right. So this Trunks is pretty dumb. He's more of a brute, while Beyta actually got a win here, and even Hedo's like, yes, we did it, but we got actually nothing accomplished, but he needed the victory. It's very comical, very Gerberish, very Teletubby Power Rangerish. And as they're about to head out of the school, he's kind of setting up a trap for Trunks yet again next to but this time he's being mad sus about it, and what he realizes is that there's a ball that rolls over to a truck over there, and somebody lifts it up, and that somebody is Goten. So Goten, once again, just like in the World Tournament, did something that he wasn't supposed to do. And remember when he went Super Saiyan when he wasn't supposed to? Well, he lifted a car when he wasn't supposed to, just like his father lifted the tractor. He decided to lift the car. So what we realize is that as soon as Hedo sees this, he tells Beyta to go and attack him to get back the disc. And what he does is he pulls out a whole super suit. He's Beyta #1, so we already got like a action figure superhero looking guy coming at him, and everybody's calling him cringy. Is he a cosplayer? All this stuff. They cooking him on sight, and he's here to do Master Hedo's work. So what you see him is he tries to bum rush Goten. Goten ends up dodging a bunch of the attacks, but he can't fight back without revealing his powers. So Trunks says, yo, I gotta get out of here real quick. He pulls a Peter Parker, runs off to the side. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. While this is all going on, disappears for a moment while Goten is dodging all the attacks, and then he jumps in as Saiyaman X1 in his suit, and then tosses the watch to Goten behind while Goten dips out. So Trunks takes over the fight. They go back and forth, and as you can see, there's some pretty cool blows here, because remember, this is an android. He's quite strong. We don't really know the exact numbers, but he's quite strong. Remember, this is leading to the superhero arc. Gamma 1 and 2 were technically inspired by these guys, because as you can see, what's happening here is they're fighting back and forth. They're getting tossed around the whole football field, and it's a pretty epic, smaller scaled fight than we're used to, but at the same time, it matches like the high school vibe, and it's better than what Gohan was fighting, like I said, with just a bunch of enemies with bullets. We're actually fighting androids here that are quite powerful from Dr. Hedo. Remember, Gamma 1 and 2 were like Super Saiyan Blue level and beyond, so these guys, they're no joke. But I hope they have a bigger role after the whole superhero actual movie parts are over, but right now we're leading up to it. And what we see here is that as they're fighting back and forth, Hedo's looking at it, and he's absolutely geeking out about Saiyaman X1. He loves everything about him, the strength, the style, everything about it is just inspiring him to create more superheroes, while Beta's getting his ass beat. And Mai's trying to figure out where has she seen him before, because the Saiyaman X1 outfit, it has the specific scarf, which is going to lead into something else in a moment. But we see your boy Beyta pull out a super suit from pushing a buckle on his button, and he has a bunch of nuclear missiles, and what he ends up doing is trying to launch them at Trunks. So while he's fighting Trunks, he launches a bunch of nukes at the people, and Trunks just takes it and redirects it at the ocean. So he grabs it and throws it back at the ocean. Pretty badass, and I think this fits the stakes a lot more, knowing that people right there are like innocent and ready to be injured by nuclear stuff in the middle of school. So that was pretty cool. Redirects the nuke back into the sea, and it absolutely goes on a tear, trying to tear up Beyta. But what happens is once he starts punching Beyta, he knocks Beyta to the floor at one point, and then Mai's bag goes flying, and he's like, Mai, no, my Bulma, but she's on the floor there. And what happens is he notices for a second, Beyta notices that Dr. Gero's disc falls out of her bag slightly, the confidential disc that we've seen from the beginning of the chapter that was stolen. And Dr. Hedo's like, yo, that's my stolen disc. And then they're like, yo, we have to grab the girl, she cannot get away. So he grabs her with the machine, and then Trunks yells at him to stop what he's doing, but then he decides to launch a bunch of missiles at the crowd, trying to pull a Majin Vegeta. And what you see is that he ends up not only protecting everybody here, deflecting all the oncoming missiles, but then also we see in a split moment that your boy Beyta tries to take off in the top half of the robot, and Goten Saiyaman X2 jumps in and takes out the bottom half. So now both of them decide to team up, and it's a really cool sequence. I think this will be pretty fun when this episode comes out. But then he pulls out an air attack. He calls it Steam Cleaner. So he does the kind of Avatar The Last Airbender high pressure whirlwind attack and absolutely rips apart the robot and puts Android Beyta into his boxers while Mai goes flying. And while she's flying, Trunks catches her with the ultimate Riz, and then all of a sudden she gets flashbacks to when future Trunks from Zamasu's timeline, Goku Black's timeline, was holding her, and it kind of just makes her blush and all of this stuff. So he says he's off, and then once they clean up the entire robot, they both are doing justice poses, and after mopping up all the evil, what we realize is that some of these guys thought it was some kind of promo for the Clean God movie or something like that, instead of being just something really life devastating with the nukes and everything launching. But anything, after everything was over, what Mai tells Trunks is that she really thought that Saiyaman X mode was impressive, and then Trunks is about to reveal his identity in front of all of his classmates, literally on like one of the first days. But what Hedo says is that he's never seen such awesome superhero costumes. So following everything that's happened at the high school, Hedo's over here saying, yo, these guys were so cool because we got their autographs. And as you can see, Clean God, Saiyaman, all of these things are connected to what seems to be Beyta being the android that we see right now, but Gamma's 1 and 2 being made because of Goten and Trunks, which kind of ties it all into what we've seen here. So we've seen Cell Max, we've seen Dr. Hedo, we've seen what seems to be the basis for Gamma 1 and Gamma X2, with the final panel saying, wasn't Saiyaman X2's Red King just the coolest? Let's start from that. So they're literally going to be biting off the design after getting Beta's outfit cooked and ripped to shreds. So it was a pretty fun chapter from start to finish. Like I said, it's just straight up Gohan and Great Saiyaman and West City vibes, and it gave me that old school feeling while reading this manga. So I would say this is a very fun slice of life one, and the fact that it ties in this way, inspiring the Gammas, I like it. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I thought this one was very fun. And I'm happy that they can still go like in a smaller scale route to keep it interesting, at least in the manga. I'm not sure how it's going to be when it's animated, but at least keep it interesting without having to tear the planets apart or any dimensions or voids and stuff like that. This small scale slice of life stuff is something that I've wanted to see since I was a kid. Goten and Trunks as teenagers and having these adventures and seeing it being modeled after Gohan. I feel like I'm gonna get some serious nostalgia when I see this actually animated, so I'm hyped for that. I think the minimum I would give this is probably an 8, maybe even a 9 for this chapter, because of how much I actually enjoyed it. A lot of very funny moments here that I really enjoy. And then also, I think my favorite part about this is seeing Trunks play basketball. I want to see how they animate that, and hopefully they don't cheap out. Hopefully some Kuroko no basket type of scene, because if it's like one of those only scenes, it's not an entire episode they dedicate to like baseball, can we get some really nice animation for when they're trying to like show off this scene and this rivalry? That would be pretty dope. I think we've got a lot of sub concepts here from the past, all in this one chapter, and I was here for it. So make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon. We're gonna be covering more Dragon Ball Super manga news, information, updates, as well as manga chapter number 90 once the information drops on the channel DragonBallPaul. I love y'all. Stay safe out there, everybody. Young Muddy Baby. Yeah. Thank you for coming through to my channel. Make sure you guys check out all of my videos. I got 3 different channels, one for Dragon Ball, one for gaming, one for working out and reactions. We stream live just about every day on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure you guys follow me on all social media, and the main rule on my channel is just crack jokes and have fun as a family. Alright, catch you guys later, Dragon Ball fam. Young Money Baby. Let's go.